it's Gaz, and welcome back to the WARFRAME video. Today got a new Nekros build for you, focused around health tanking. We'll be using Grendel's recently massively buffed helmet ability, and, like I said, we're health tanking, so this build will be based around getting shot by the enemies and not shield gating, because, you know what, sometimes we just are shield gating too often, I feel like, and having a health tank build over here and there is not going to hurt nobody. Alright, so we'll be using one of the new arcanes called Arcane Blessing, and it's bugged out, so if I go into the arsenal screen, it will stop working as well. So we're going to do all the initial showcasing of that arcane before we go into the arsenal screen. Also, we'll be live on Twitch later tonight with the Game Awards, so if you want to come check it out, we'll be live streaming the Game Awards. There's going to apparently be some new trailers and stuff, so yeah, we'll be going over that later. Appreciate all the support, guys. Alright, so let's start with this health tank build on Nekros. What's the idea of it and what's the situation? The situation and the idea is basically you are going to be fully armor stripping enemies. You'll be health tanking with Shield of Shadows. And you'll also be one-shotting lots of enemies and dimension armor stripping. It's going to be a self-sufficient build with actually no despoil. We have not enough room on this build for despoil. So we're using no despoil, which means we're going to have energy per corpse drained for Desecrate, so keep that in mind. Now that our fourth ability is cast, we have Shield of Shadows giving us massive damage reduction. As you can see, these enemies cannot really kill us, and they're also getting constantly stunned by Nourish from the helmet system. Additionally, our summons have viral damage because Nourish gives viral damage to your summons. So, yeah, our summons just mow down the enemies, pretty much. And this is no, jumping through hoops. You can basically throw away Theorem Infection. You can throw away Theorem Infection, dude. That arcane for Nekros that gives your summons elemental damage after jumping through some hoops, just throw it out. It's so much easier just to use Nourish and Grendel, giving them viral damage, which synergizes very well with your Terrify, removing enemy armor. So we're going to go over all the build stuff here today. And like I said, it's a health-taking build, so there is no shield getting, no rolling guard here. Keep in mind, of course, you could go rolling guard, but what we've got right here is, so there's going to be a lot of combat discipline. This is actually a little trick here. When you kill an enemy, it deals 10 damage to you, but it also heals your allies by 20. That 10 damage on kill will proc the viral AoE of Nourish. So if you're running combat discipline on a Nourish frame, you're going to be stunning enemies with viral AoE quite regularly. I think it's like a 1 second cooldown of this happening. So as long as you proc this, as long as you're going to kill every 1 second, you'll be doing let's see how big the radius is, a 21 meter explosion viral proc radius. This will also work for your summons too. And we have more summons that I just showed you. We can bring down the whole squad if we really want to. But yeah, everyone's going to get viral buff, everyone's going to get viral AoE, viral procs when they get shot, or when we get kills and all that stuff. So very nice. That viral damage, or 127% viral damage, is going to go great with that full armor strip of Terrify. 100% armor strip of this build. So very nice. But like I said, we are we're a little bit out of spaces to put augment mods on here. So we got Desecrate, his third ability, which you should always have. But, the slot I was going to put Desecrate's augment in is actually filled in by Augur Reach, and I think that the range of Augur Reach is actually more important than Despoil for what we're doing. As long as you're in a high kill environment. If you are in a low kill environment, a lot of the stuff in this build is not going to work. So we have a 43 meter radius on Desecrate. We take off that mod, we go to 36 meters, and then we go to a 17 meter explosion radius on Nourish. If that seems worth it to you, go for it. But yeah, as it stands right now, this is what I'm going with. Our arcanes, we've got Arcane Blessing, the new one. So we pick up a health orb. It gives us 24 extra health, and it starts with 50 times. So at total, at the end of this, we will have 2,050 health. It gives you about 1,200 extra health once all these things are stacked up. And I'm actually going to get some gameplay of the Steel Path on here while we talk about this. So that is going to be part of the idea of the build. If you want to be really health tanky, this new Arcane Blessing, Arcane is really good with Nekros. But like I said, it does bug out. So I did not die for 100 minutes in this mission, but once you die with this arcane, it sometimes decides to not work. Like, for example, my maximum health with this setup is 2,050. I've got a bunch of armor, too. But at the same time, if I die, that arcane doesn't work. I'll go to, the 900 health at max. It's really weird how it bugs out like that. I hope they fix it. I have no idea what causes it, but I can replicate it in the Simulacrum right now. Now, as far as our other mods, we've got Shield of Shadows giving us 70% damage reduction when our shadows are nearby us and we're linked to them. So that's pretty nice. And of course, those shadows do have viral damage if we buff them. We can summon our own Exodus and all that. Now, as far as the adaptation mod, this is where you could maybe put in health conversion, I believe it's called. That's going to give you... so we have adaptation, which gives us up to 90% damage reduction against whatever damage type we're getting shot by. And we can take a couple hits because we put some armor shards on Nekros. He usually has no armor at all. But since Nekros picks up so many health orbs, you could maybe try out health conversion here instead if you had the mod capacity for it. Maybe put on another Forma or something. Which is going to give you 1200 armor. It's only going to last until after you take damage, but you pick up so many health orbs, this is basically permanently up. You could run that, but I decided not to run that. As far as combos, this can also proc Arcane Grace, giving you % health regeneration over time, which is very nice with Arcane Blessing. Increase maximum health, heal maximum health over time, scaling with how much maximum health you have. So those are the things. The purpose of this build is to basically have as much range as possible while also having full armor strip for Nourish's AoE viral retaliation buff. So that's the point of the build. Now, as far as weapons we've gone for, we are actually going to be taking advantage of that viral buff from Nourish, and we're going to be using Corrosive Weapon to have Corrosive and Viral. A mod combination is not normally something you could make. So, as you see right there, we just face tanked a Ancient attack on us, and it did not kill us, so that's nice. Also, keep in mind, Equilibrium is a crucial mod here to make it so you actually can keep your Desecrate going, even without Despoil. And you might notice a couple times here, it's like, hey, you didn't have Desecrate turned on there. You have to make sure. If your energy bar goes to 0, Desecrate will turn off if you're not running a Despoil build. So, as far as the weapons, we've got the Kuva Brahma, and I was surprised. The Kuva Brahma did not run out of ammo like once this entire mission. We've got a 60% radiation Kuva Brahma, but keep in mind the Toxin Kuva Brahma can do the same exact thing, probably a little bit better. But I went with the radiation Kuva Brahma because we could do some radiation procs every here and there, which will make the enemies, shoot each other and not me. A lot of this build is also about making aggro go towards other sources that are not me. So if I get shot, I'm not having to worry if my health tank build's actually good or not most of the time. So corrosive build here with electric and poison, making that corrosive. Prime Firestorm, no HM because they're gonna be dying anyway. And this corrosive will be very good against the Acolyte. And then since we're buffing with viral, it's gonna be viral and corrosive, very good against pretty much everything. If you don't have a Riven, put on Vigilante Armaments in that slot. It's going to be very similar. Maybe a little bit better in the crit department. And then, yeah, the Plinks, I was not using this really. This is basically just to kill high-level Eximus. As far as elements for a Plinks, I'd recommend a Heat one, a Magnetic one, or an Impact one. In this mission that I was running, I was really wishing I had a Magnetic Plinks, because the main enemy that was giving me a problem was a shielded Guardian Eximus I just ran past. I pretty much was just ignoring the Guardian Eximus, letting my summons take care of them. Speaking of summons, we can actually summon more than just this. We can summon in our on-call crew member, and also we can summon in call with the landing craft ability from the scout. And you can also viral buff all those guys too. So I'm going to actually show all of our squad mates in the Simulacrum here in a second. But just finishing off the weapon builds, we've also got the Ripkas. You watched my previous Nekros video, this is like the way to do it with Nekros. Amalgam Ripka's True Steel. After every kill, you're basically going to get extra body parts. It gives you more loot, and that's what Nekros wants. We got Vazarin Focus School to give it to basically heal ourselves. If you, for some reason, ever get low health, this will heal you. And keep in mind also that there's a special node on Vazarin called Void Regen. As you're in the Void, you'll get 10 health regen per second, and then it can stack up to 50. Once it stacks up to 50, it will also work on your teammates too. This will also work on you while you are, just face tanking. So we're going with Vazarin here, just to be passively tanky. Another reason that Despoil will be really nice, but yeah, I'm going to have to find a way to fit Despoil on here. The last companion is the Count Kirby, the Speedacat, giving us double loot, and we have enough health that we can make him tanky so he will not die. Keep in mind that the Nourish buff also works on the cat too, so if the cat gets shot, a viral explosion in the area. Yeah, so that's basically it for the builds. Now let's get all of our summons in here so we can show you what I'm talking about as far as having the whole squad. And the whole squad is going to have viral damage too. So let's just get some butchers, I suppose. And we're going to summon them in, and then we're going to kill them, and then we're going to summon all of our ads. All of our ads. We have a lot of ads of this build. Alright, so summon in these guys. Summon in Call. Summon in Hova. And summon in our Vapor Spectre. So this is our squad. They all have viral damage now. So if we summon in an enemy, the enemy is basically just dead. As long as I armor strip them. So we'll do an Exo Gokstad now. And you'll see there's so many enemies to shoot at. They're probably not going to even shoot at me. and Hobo's just going to take care of them instantly. So that's the idea of the build, guys. AoE viral stuns, tons and tons of summons, tons and tons of damage for that matter. I could just armor strip them too. And yeah, I'm not even like fighting them. I'm not even fighting them right now. And of course, health tanking, just because we don't really health tank very often. It's usually just shield gating. And as you see, the arcane is broken. I will not go above 1,066 health. So Pablo, please fix that one. Appreciate that very much. Hopefully this build was good for you guys. Of course, there is an energy multiplier from Nourish. We're not actually really focusing on the energy multiplier from Nourish. We're focusing on the viral retaliation buff, and we're focusing on the viral damage buff. The energy thing is just like really not even used, but it does help us since we're not running Despoiled to have infinite energy forecasting abilities. And I'll tell you right now, I went 110 minutes in this survival, and I died like once or twice. This build is good, even with just health tanking. You can summon in Sentient, you can summon in Eximus. And the viral buff is amazing. This is one of the new best helmets for Nekros. Now, does it outright replace Silence Nekros? It does not outright replace Silence Nekros. The reason that Silence Nekros is still really good is because this Nourish buff is nice and all, but honestly, you probably might have someone on your team already running Nourish. Having 2 Nourish doesn't really do anything. And having someone with Silence to stop those Eximus from blowing up the tower in Survival, specifically the Kuva Survival, is still important. But then again, Silence here is not as important. These Eximus, the only Eximus that's annoying is that, like I said, the Guardian Eximus that's anti-AoE. They have AoE damage reduction, so bring something like a Magnetic Tenant Plinks, or whatever your single target, like bring a Latum or something to kill those guys specifically, and then everything else is totally fine. This is Steel Path on the new Varuna Survival. Solo get no problem. I don't think it activated a tower all mission, maybe 1 tower. So really powerful build. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Peace.